All right. Good morning. This is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Monday, the 3rd of November. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing, learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at chartingthemarkets.substack.com and is published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. All right. Yes. Now, we've got a big week just to start off this week. We've got a big week coming in terms of the stats, because we've got bullish leaning days today, tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, with a neutral to slightly bullish day on Wednesday. This is one of the most bullish leaning weeks of the year, and I'm watching very closely to see what happens. On the bigger picture charts, I am thinking a retest of these highs looks likely, and when we get there, we would get possible daily RSI 5 sell signals spraying if we retest on all three of them, on SPX, on the Qs, and on Dia. So that is something I'm watching with great interest at the beginning of this week. All right. So at the moment, no current. We obviously had sell signals. They made target. This kind of looks like a bull flag forming, and if so, it is starting to break up. In Q, kind of looks like a bear flag or a triangle forming. Again, leaning towards seeing a retest of the high. RTY was very much on a different path here, but could this be a bull flag forming? Yes, it could, but it's not a particularly high quality one. Looking at YM, again, could be a bull flag forming. So I'm wondering about retests of the highs, particularly on SPX, well, ES, NQ, and on YM, possibly on RTY too, but less indication of that. We've got a weak 60-minute buy signal fixed on YM, and that's getting pretty close to the possible nearest target already. But we do have a nice looking little double bottom here. If that breaks up, that would have a target at a retest of that high. All right, looking at DAX, still just kicking around, wondering about a retest of this high, possibly, if we're going to see a break up on US equities, which is one of the main things I'm watching out for this week. On ESTX, I'll be doing a post about that, by the way, watch out for it. Looking on ESTX, we've already got a nice looking nested double top. Wondering if we might get a third nested double top on this, so we'll see. All right, let's have a look at those on the bigger picture charts. Okay, looking at the daily charts, if we see retests of the highs here on SPX, Qs, and Dia, all of those would start RSI 5 sell signals spraying. We've also already got daily sell signals fixed on the RSI 14, of course. So that's ES, SPX, and Qs, and Dia, all the same. I'm leaning towards seeing retests the highs on all of them. In terms of the smaller picture, if we see, here, I've got a nice looking rising wedge here, and it looks like it's overthrowing. It's got a very decent looking resistance trend line. It is nice. This is the same kind of wedge I would expect to break down and retrace, but they don't always. I've put in one trend line so far. In the event that we see a break up, this would be the best. Well, this would be the best alternate trend line, but actually none of the ones I've got here would be as nice as the one we are already testing. We could see a decent retracement from here still. I'm just concerned because the seasonality isn't great in terms of the bullishness of November and December. Nonetheless, look at the chart of the day today. I've posted this chart here, which I'll just show you. So have a close look at that. But here, these are the major highs on US stocks in 1906, not March, but that's 1906, 1929, 1965, 1999. Relative to earnings, valuations on US stocks are higher than all of them. That is very, very high indeed. I'm expecting to see sooner or later we're going to start a topping process, and potentially we're going to see a major high. And really, it should be sooner rather than later. But on sooner on this time scale, I'm talking about within the next year or two max, without going an awful lot higher. But having said that, one, it could be different this time, although it generally isn't. Two, we haven't necessarily topped out. We could still go higher than this. But obviously, we are beyond nosebleed in terms of valuations, and we have been really for a while. We will see. All right, great. And this was the new high as of August 25. It's been up higher since. So we really are at nosebleed levels. So I'm watching out for that. But at the moment, I'm still thinking we might just push up directly into through November into December. We'll see how that goes. All right, looking at the Qs. Qs, we've got, again, nice looking trend line. Again, it's overthrown. And again, it's very nice. It's nicer than the one that preceded it. Do I have alternatives? Yeah. Anything as nice as this? No. Looking at Dia, again, we got a nice trend line here, and we are overthrowing it. It's this one here actually would be a bit nicer, so I'm wondering if we might go up and get that. But these are the obvious areas for these rising wedges to retrace, and we've not seen any meaningful retracement here so far. That is unusual. All right, let's have a look at IWM. And on IWM, on the daily chart, we actually we're testing the daily middle band from below, this was significantly weaker, and we didn't actually retest the high, which is something I was expecting to see near the start of last week. I'm wondering whether this is a bullish consolidation setting up a retest of this high. So we will see how that goes. In terms of trend lines, the nicest one would actually be this dotted one here, and I'm wondering if we might go up and get it. All right, let's have a look at DAX, where DAX is actually testing the daily lower band. We're seeing a nice bounce this morning. I'm wondering about another possible retest of the high there. We've already got a very nice level top. And on Nikkei, we are powering up, and we've gone through really my last trend line. So on the bigger picture chart, you can see we have wandered off the reservation. Although I have to say, this is a really nice call here. Well, I wrote this on 2020. After the retracement is finished, and the very large iron chest may well play out to the target in the 35,000 area. And that low there, since it reached that low at 14,800, it has more than tripled. So wow, hell of a move on Nikkei. But at the moment, we're well beyond all trend lines. I'm going to be having a look at the log scale charts, see if I can pick up anything on that. One thing to mention though, Nikkei, we do have a possible RSI 14 sell signal brewing, and it's nice. But we haven't got any trend lines really to hang it off at this stage. We've just gone through the last one. All right, DX. DX. Possible RSI, possible 60-minute sell signal brewing here, and we've got a possible 60-minute buy signal brewing on the euro. I'm leaning towards seeing a bit of retracement here. Might not happen, of course. Bigger picture, I'm leaning towards this heading up to the double bottom resistance in the 100.40 area. Looking at ZB, definitely some scope for a rally here, but at the moment we're not seeing it. We're getting now pretty close to this initial double top target down here, but really I've got a nice target down here in the 116 area, and I'm kind of expecting that to hit too. Bigger picture, I think we might be putting in a significant short-term high on bonds. ZN, we've got a head and shoulders which is broken down. That's got a target down here in the 112.14 area, and we haven't made that yet. This kind of looks like a bear flag for them, and we might see that make target today. All right, let's have a look at CL, where we've broken up from a little level bottom. That's got a target pretty obviously at a retest of this high here. We do have a weak 60-minute sell signal that's fixed. We'll see how that goes, but really I think the next obvious target is a retest of this high. On HO, I think the next obvious target is a retest of this high. RBOB doesn't have as clear a target as this, but at the moment this is drifting away from being a possible double top setup, which I wasn't really expecting to play out anyway. NG went significantly higher. We've got a weak 60-minute sell signal fix, and we've got a full 60-minute sell signal brewing. I'm thinking we may well see some retracement. After that, I'd like to see a bit higher, but I think we might be coming towards the end of this seasonal rally. GC, this looks like a bear flag forming, so I'm thinking we'll probably at least retest this low here in the 3900 area. That could be the second low of a small double bottom. We've got a head and shoulder target, which is down in the 3650 area though, and that's still on the table. SI, we've got a head and shoulders which is broken down here, and really we've got resistance. We've got the right shoulder high just above the monthly pivot at 49.15. If that breaks, then that sets up a target at a retest of the high. We could be bottoming out here on metals. We've got the same sort of situation on palladium, but the head and shoulders isn't as close to failing. On platinum, this looks like a bear flag forming. On HG, we've got a little double top that has broken down with a target in the 4.88 to 4.92 area. I'm expecting that to make target. Looks like a little bear flag forming at the moment. Looking at KC, KC, we've broken down from this megaphone. Kind of looks like a bear flag forming. If it is a bear flag forming, we should see a retest of this low here, and I'm leaning towards continuation down to this main double top support in the 349 area. SB, we're seeing a bit of a rally here. I think that might be in the context of a larger breakdown. 6-minute buy signal as it reaches the possible near miss target. CC, we've got a breakup over this falling megaphone resistance, and it's a nice megaphone. I think this is bottoming out, but I think this might be a bear flag forming, setting up a retest of this low. So we may be waiting for a double bottom to form. On CT, we're still in the balance here. We've got an IHS which has broken up with a target in the 68 area, and we've got a we've got a rising megaphone here that could be a bear flag. So I'm waiting for it to resolve either in one direction or the other. If we break down from this trend line here currently in the 64.60 area, then I'd be leaning towards seeing a retest of this low here in the 62.70 area. Looking at lumber, a little bit of a rally here, 60-minute buy signal fix. I'm thinking in terms of a rally and then probably go down. Technically, this could be a double bottom here, but I'm not expecting it to be one. Looking at ZW, ZW has gone higher here. I think we may be starting those big bullish moves that I've been talking about on the bigger picture for a long time. So I'm talking about possible big bullish moves starting on wheat and corn, and I think we might be starting those. We will see. Soy, we're looking as though certainly the bear flag that's been forming all year on soy here may be breaking up. Jury's still out on that at the moment, but we will see how that goes. On ZL, we've got a possible 60-minute buy signal brewing after we broke down from this bear flag and reached the target. This is a potential double bottom. On live cattle, we've got a large double top which has broken down. I'm waiting. I think this is probably mainly about Argentinian beef imports. And if the US decides to can those because they are very unpopular with farmers, then I'm thinking this may well just head straight up. On lean hogs, possible bottoming action, waiting for a decent trend line to form. We've already got a decent support trend line here. So I'm thinking we might be bottoming out here. We shall see. All right, let's have a quick look at questions. Going forward, what times are you going to broadcast? On here, on crypto. Sorry, on here. This one I think stays at 8:45 for the time being. Crypto is going to be 8:30 in the morning, and if you want to see the bigger picture when I record it, I'd probably put that in for 4 or 5 on Sunday afternoons. Think about that, because if you do, I'll start recording them. I prefer, it's on here, I'm going to keep it on at 8:45 for the time being, and I'm just moving the crypto one. Because what I want to do is I want to get practically every morning. It's not going to be possible every morning. I can have issues at YouTube and this, that, and the other. But I mean, I'd like to get both of these emails out before the open. So that would be the intention. So this crypto one, I'm going to see whether that gets me close to that or gets me to that. If it does get me to that, then I'll probably just leave that at 8:30 and do this at 8:45. All right, mate, no worries. In that case, I think that's a wrap. Everyone take care, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. Doug, I'll sort out that bigger picture now.